This single tool is going to change the way you build forever, and here's exactly how you can make it. Before I teach you guys how to actually build this tool, I want to show you guys how extremely easy it is to use. Select 4 corner heights like this. So let's do that for one corner there, and then we do something like this, and then let's do this one here pretty tall, and then let's do this one by the ground. I think this is lined up. Let's see, it is not. There we go, and I think that is pretty good. And now if I just, oh, wrong button. If I just drop this emerald, as you can see, it would automatically fill the terrain between them. Let's say I don't like this height over here. Let me just increase the height here like this. And if I do it again, and it will just fix it, and it will just make perfect terrain instantaneous, or not technically instantaneous, but very fast. And it's just very nice tool to actually have, in my opinion. But it does actually have a few limitations, which I will show you guys right now. Now, the first kind of restriction the system has is it only works if you have it in a rectangle or a square. So as you can see, as I set up here, these corners, or this doesn't actually align with this corner right here, which doesn't make it a square or a rectangle. So when I activate this, as you can see, it says in the chat your corners don't align, but sometimes it will actually still activate even if you actually don't have them aligned. As you can see right there, it didn't actually align there, but it still generated. And the way you can tell that it's not aligned corners is if it generates something stupid like this, which definitely doesn't, match up to the heights we selected. But all we got to do is we can just go over to wherever this arm stand is, and we just move them one back. And now he's aligned again, and it works perfectly and creates your terrain. Other than that, it doesn't have any other kind of restrictions. For example, you can choose a huge bounding box without any problems actually occurring. And see, I marked this pretty large area here, and you can actually do way bigger than this. I think the biggest I've done is 500 by 500, but you can actually do bigger than that as well. You just have to wait for quite a while. And now if I activate this, as you guys can see, it works perfectly. And if I try to activate it again, it won't do nothing because it's already activated. And I mean, now all you got to do is just wait till this generates. Something to keep in mind if you're kind of like marking a huge area like this, or even bigger, like the 500 by 500, which I did, is that you should probably be in the middle or the center of it, so all the 4 corners would get loaded, because that is extremely important. I also recommend going into settings and to advanced, and if you scroll all the way down, you should put simulation distance to the max, which is 10 chunks. So basically this works for bigger distances and bigger bounding boxes, because this basically determines how far you can actually see entities, or it loads entities. But as you can see, it is generating very well, and I'll just put up a time lapse until this is done. So I will see you guys then. Alright, so now it's just about finished, and as you can see, as you guys can see, this terrain looks, very good in my opinion. And something very cool about just this terrain tool in general, like a cool trick you can actually do, is oh, I probably shouldn't have broken those ones, or no, you know what, it doesn't really matter. Let's go to the other side. Is you can actually continue off of previous terrain. So here I can just keep these 2 because I've already marked those, and I can keep those, right? And now I just go over to mark my other 2 corners, and usually it's very smart to have guidelines like this, so you're sure that you're marking like the correct way, and then it's all aligned. And I'm going to do something like this high, and I'll place a corner right here. Then we move over to here, and we'll have our other corner, which I'm also going to put a little bit more upwards compared to where this point is. And actually, where is this one? Let's see. So I just go over here, and we place the blocks all the way over so I can see that I'm aligned. Yeah, so it aligns here, and now I build my tower. I'm going to go this much higher on this side, and now I have my 4 corners selected, and if I press generate, it will continue off of the previous terrain, and it's basically seamless. And I mean, this terrain tool has like infinite potential in my opinion, or not infinite potential, but you can do so much stuff with it. You can make mountains, you can make flat terrain, you can make hills, basically anything. You can make underwater ocean terrain. The reason why you can basically make anything is you choose the heights yourself. You customize how you want it to look yourself. And yeah, it's also just extremely simple to use. And if you want it to be even more custom, or you can just customize it even more yourself by changing stuff in the command blocks, or just, you know, breaking some blocks and kind of shaping it how you want. But you have the base of how it should look, and you barely have to do any job at all. And as you can see, this is going perfectly onto these points right here, and it just looks seamless. Even though I generated this part first and this one afterwards, you couldn't really tell. It just looks like it was all generated at once, you know? And yeah, it just looks extremely good. And I'm just gonna let this finish up. And here we have it, the final terrain. It looks very good. I'm gonna show you guys one more example where I do the same thing again. Of course, sometimes it might actually mismatch the terrain. It could actually potentially do that sometimes. But that is probably because the heights you selected are kind of crazy compared to each other. Like, the difference between them are kind of crazy. Or it could also not really work that well if you made something by hand and then you use this. It won't be the exact same because this uses linear interpolation, and I don't think your hands use the same math concept, so it won't actually look the exact same, you know? So I'm going to do this one here as well. And something kind of cool to think about is this uses the exact same kind of concepts of what my terrain generator does. And if you want to check out the video on that, there is a link in the description or at the top of the screen right here. And yeah, I'm going to generate this corner and I'll see how this one turns out. But it should look pretty decent. And as you can see, it matches very well. It just looks very good. And there we go. It just basically looked like this was always supposed to be here, and it just looks insane in my opinion. And you know, it's time to just get straight into the tutorial. And I do recommend you have to fasten your seatbelts. There are quite a lot of commands, as you guys can see, but this will help you guys a lot. If you have a huge project you're working on, it will actually spare you so much time. So I definitely think it's worth it. But you have to be very careful about the spelling and the order of the commands you do. So follow the tutorial very closely. And yeah, you know, grab some popcorn and get ready. So the first thing we're going to do here is the actual setup commands and basically get the scoreboards we will need for this creation. So first one we need is constant, and then we set some variables, for example, scale to be 1000, so we get 3 decimal calculations in the math. And then we set one to be 10, then we add the x dummy, y dummy, z dummy, and of course I recommend pausing the video. There is quite a lot of commands to go through, so I'll be going through them fairly quickly. So now, after you've typed all of that, all you gotta do is go down to the bottom here and just press this button, and now you should have all the scoreboards you will need for this creation. Now, the first thing we're gonna do with the actual main commands here is we're gonna make the ID system. And then we're gonna basically do this command right here, which basically makes it so the corner arm stand copies the ID of the player. And this one right here just TPs the corner arm stand to itself, so it can float in midair like this. Now we are actually at the main tower here. The first thing we're going to do in this main tower is grabbing the coordinates of the entities, or the corner and the height, the one that actually summons the blocks entities. As you can see here, I basically made it go to 8,192 from spawn or from 00, so you can go 8,192 blocks out, and it will work perfectly. If you do any more than that, it won't work anymore. And also added this 0 right here, so we can actually do a lot of the math scaled, so we can get some more like decimal precision in the actual calculations. Now most of these are quite similar, just with small differences between each and every commands, and it goes down in binary base 2. Very simple stuff here. And now we do the same thing, but now we grab the z coordinate instead. It's almost the exact same, just like a slight difference in the commands here. And of course, all the commands in this video they run on 0 tick, so you don't have to worry about any tick variance or anything like that. It's just all on 0 ticks. And now for the y coordinate. For the y coordinate, you can actually do less because you can't even build above like y 320 or something, which is why I made this not go as far in the y coordinates. And there we go. We are finished with the actual kind of setup to grab the coordinates of the entities. And now we actually start with the main thing here. This first one right here basically grabs the maximum or the highest x value out of the four corners. This one right here grabs the maximum or the highest z value of the corners. And then of course here we do the smallest x value and the smallest z values. Now this command right here basically tests if the arm stand that does kind of like the spawning of the blocks is within the four corners or the bounding box and gives it the tag in. This right here, dx, is just basically how far the bounding boxes are, like how far does the bounding box go in the dx direction, which we do right here, and in the z direction, which we calculate right here. Now we actually made it right to kind of like the main part where we do some interpolation, some bilayer interpolation. So, stuff I also use in my world gen, which I have on my channel if you want to check out that video. Here we basically sort the corners and give them a tag so we can actually know what to refer the different corners as. Quite simple stuff here. And then we do interpolation, the bottom layer. And then we interp the top layer. And then we interp the bottom and the top together. And yeah, this command right here is basically just so it rounds up instead of flooring it down, because Minecraft floors values down. So I add this one right here just so we can round up instead of floor it down when it's on like a decimal value. And yeah, the final command here will basically just normalize the output, because the raw output doesn't give you kind of the value you need, but by subtracting the y height of the armor stand, basically it will give you the value of how much the armor stand has the TP up from its current position. This right here summons the armor stand in fill, and then it summons the armor stand height. And this is a lot of this kind of like logic is to kill the armor stands and how it loops and TPs back so it can like continue filling and stuff like that. This one right here. And right here, this one basically fills air above the armor stand. You might actually, if you want to, you could remove this. Let's say you're generating like terrain underneath something important. I would turn this one off because this one will remove anything that's above basically the bounding box or the area you selected. So, and this one right here just for the ID. And then here we have some binary TP. So the armor stand TPs up to the desired height, and then it places its blocks after it's done TPing. And here we basically have the placing. So when the HF score is 0 or less, we'll place the stone all the way to -60, place the dirt, grass, and then it will kill itself. And then right here, it just removes all existing tags. And this is right here is for a safety check. Right here is another thing, a safety check. And there we remove the tag start, and now you're almost done with the whole creation. The only thing we have left is how to make these two tools, which will make your life way easier. But technically speaking, this already works without any problems. Something to keep in mind though, before I go into showcasing how to make the tools, basically I've set this to kind of be based off the -60 coordinate, as you guys can see right here. But let's say you want something to generate from lower. Let's say you're building something in the -64 coordinate. You can change this one to -64, and then it should all be fine. As well as you should probably also change your place, for example, for this stone right here, which goes all the way down to -60 to -64. But you know, you can experiment that with you like yourself to check out what you kind of need. And now for the first kind of tool, which is the fishing rod, which is right here. First, it counts how many armor stands exist in the world, or how many corners exist, and then it will summon a corner if you don't have more than 4 corners already existing. If you have 4 or more corners existing, it will just say you already have 4 corners summoned, as you can see right there. And then it will remove the tag no here, and then it will kill the fishing rod. And of course, here is the display on the action bar saying how many entities you currently have spawned in, which is quite nice to have. And then this one right here basically is for the starting of the actual generation by dropping your emerald. Then it just says starting, so you know, and then it gives you the emerald back. It gives you the tag no, just so you can't like you spawn multiple or summon multiple at the same time. And then it kills the emerald. And after you've created all of this and typed in all these commands, all you have to do now is for the person you want to make this tool work with, you just do /tag player name or yourself S, you know, stuff like that, add, and then you type in terrain like this, press enter, and now you should all be good to go, and you can use this tool. And if I don't want to use this tool anymore, I just do remove terrain, and as you guys can see, the action bar and stuff will be removed, and I can't summon anything with this fishing rod. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this whole video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, and of course join my Discord, link in the description. But anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.